Today we're going to talk about how to add a page to your Canvas account or to your course. So before we get started, the first thing we want to take a look at is we want to talk about how to actually add apps to your course. So by doing that, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come down and we're going to click on Settings. And whenever Settings comes up, we should actually see across the top different options or different tabs that we can go to. Normally this will actually default to the last one that you were on. So as we can see, the last one was applications or apps. So that's why we are here. Now there are a bunch of different applications that we can actually add to our Canvas account. But say if I wanted to actually go and take a look and try to find one that I'm looking for. Instead of actually doing this, we're trying to filter, I can come and click where it says see some LTI tools that work great with Canvas. Whenever I click on this, pretty much this will take me to a course, or take me to, not a course, a website pretty much called eduappcenter.com. From here, the first thing I want to do is I want to click right here where it says all platforms and make sure I have Canvas selected. Now whenever I do that, I'm seeing that I have 219 apps that are available inside of Canvas. And pretty much I can actually search these for different categories. So say if I want it for math, and say I want it for secondary, now I have 35 apps that are out there that I can use. Now whenever I see this, I notice there's a little key down in the bottom right hand corner of each of these tiles. Now all that pretty much means is you have to actually create an account for this application to work inside of Canvas. Some of them you're going to have to pay for, some of them they just want you to create an account. It's free for you to use, which is nice. So let's go ahead and go back to Canvas. And whenever I do that, I'm back with my different applications. So what I'm going to do now is say if I want to actually find an application, or we're just going to scroll down. And actually, let's do this. Let's add TeacherTube. So I'm going to type in teacher. Okay, maybe that is not in there. So let's scroll down. We'll just add a random one. Here's Minecraft or something of that nature. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm just going to click Add Application. And as you can see, here's your consumer key, all those different things that I don't have. So let's go and find another one. Back to App Center. We can do, we'll do YouTube for schools. And I'm going to click on Add an App. Add App. Now once I've added one, it's going to take me to this installed instead of all. And pretty much these are going to show all the different applications that I already have installed for my course. Now it's very important that you would want to do this for every course that you have, because pretty much if you just have it in one does not mean you're going to have it in another as well. So once we have these installed, pretty much what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come up and I'm going to click right here where it says Pages. Now it's grayed out in our little course that we have set up here, but yet again it may be in bold or darker letters on yours. All that means is pretty much if it's grayed out, that means the students do not see that page, so they do not have access to it. You do, but the students do not. So once I get here, what I want to do is I want to create a new page. So I'm going to click on View All Pages. And once we've done that, the first thing you're going to see is every last little page that is in part of this course, which may be a little bit overwhelming the first time you look at it because we have a bunch of stuff there. What I want to do is I'm going to come over up in the top right where it has a plus sign and a page. And pretty much this is added page. So whenever I click on that, the first thing I want to do is I want to name it. So I'm going to name it Test Page version 2.0. And the first thing we notice is pretty much, you might have heard Ryan talk about this a little bit, is what's called the Rich Text Editor or the HTML editor. Pretty much this is one of the most important parts of Canvas. Pretty much if you can use this, you can pretty much control anything and everything inside of Canvas. But you'll notice this is just more, you'll notice this is more than just pages. You'll notice this is in quizzes and assignments and anything and everything pretty much you have to actually fill out on Canvas. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is we're going to look at the insert content into the page. And what you'll notice about this is the first one we have is wiki pages. That's another kind of term that Canvas uses. You have content page or you have a wiki page. Pretty much it's the same thing. The next thing we have is assignments. I have quizzes, announcements, discussions, modules, and course navigation that if I wanted to, I can automatically bring in or link different things to inside of my page. The next thing I have is I have the ability to upload files to Canvas, which makes this easier. Instead of having to go and find all of my different little things on my computer, I can upload them to Canvas and say if I wanted these buttons right here, and if I wanted to, I can just bring them directly on in. Or as you can see with the file, it's the file itself. Now the next thing we can actually do is when I click on images, pretty much these are actually going to be those different files that I have that are any kind of filed type. So I'm going to go ahead and add one. We'll add the Bay District Schools logo. All I have to do is click, and pretty much wherever I am or wherever my cursor is inside the rich text editor, it will add the Bay District Schools logo or whatever I've clicked on off to the right. Now from there, let's go ahead and kind of play around with the rich text editor. The very first thing we can do is we're going to take a look at our top row here. So I'm just going to write in, test text. Okay. So I'm going to highlight it. And pretty much if I wanted to, the first one, my B is bold. I have italics, underline. And then if I wanted to, my next one is my text color. So I'm going to go and we'll say green. And then the next one is my background color on my text, which I'm going to go ahead and do, we'll say yellow. So pretty much there's an easy way for me to make sure I have a highlighted text for my students to actually see. Now say if this is all too much and I want to get rid of it. The next one is our clear formatting. So I click on that and everything goes back to just plain text. The next couple we have are different alignments. So if I want to align to the left, align to the center, align to the right, say if I want to go all the way back over here, but I want to increase the indentation, I can do that, or I can decrease. The next one math teachers will especially like. Say if I wanted to write a trinomial, or say if I wanted to write a log, what I can actually do is say if I put X, and now I want to use my superscript. So what I'll notice is right here, this is our paragraph, and this tells me pretty much what's going on the page where I'm at. So I'm going to click superscript, and as I can see, I have super. So now I can put my x squared right there. Now once I click on this again, it goes back to normal, so I can finish the rest of my trinomial itself. So the next one we're going to take a look at is say if I want to do log. So I do log, and we all know log base 10 is the normal thing, but say I want to put log base 3. What I can do is now I can hit subscript, and as you can see it says subscript down here, 3, go back of 4x. So now instead of actually having to copy and paste or do anything like that, I can write all of my different math equations pretty much in the course. It's inside the page itself. The next one we have is our bullets and our numbered list, which will help me out in the long run. I have my table. All I have to do is come over here and say I want a 7 by 7 table. Highlight what I want, click, and pretty much I can adjust the table accordingly. So say if I want to align that to the center. So I'm going to come right here, align to the center of the page. Oh, maybe not. So what we'll do is pretty much I can come and click on this, and this will also give me different table properties that I can go into. I can do my different widths. Where do I want to align it? Advanced styles, borders, colors, backgrounds. Pretty much I can do all kinds of different things that I want to do with my table itself. The next one that we actually see is a link to URL and remove link. So say if I wanted to do one for Kahoot. So I'm going to put Kahoot right here. I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to click link to URL. And I know my link for Kahoot is getkahoot.com. Insert link. And pretty much as I can see it now, it turns blue and underlines whenever I'm hovering over it. So what I'm going to do is just to kind of test it, is if I hit save, I can see pretty much what I have on this wiki page so far. I'm going to come over and I'm going to click on Kahoot. And as I can see, it takes me out to the Kahoot website. So that's an easy way to actually do it. So I'm ready to go on back. So I'm going to head on back to my page. So now I've saved it, but I want to edit it again. What I have up in the top right is my edit button. Whenever I click on this, it takes me back to my rich text editor that allows me to go back to what I would need to do. So I'm going to come over and I'm going to highlight Kahoot. And if I click on remove link, it goes back to just normal text. The next thing we have is our embedded images. Now whenever I click on this, I have three different things I can choose from. The first one's a URL. That if I wanted to maybe I had some pictures that I've already uploaded online, or say if I went to Google and I did a safe image search that are not copyrighted, that I can actually use inside of Canvas, that could be another way. I have my Canvas pictures. Now remember, these are ones that I've already uploaded to my course, kind of one of the things we looked at over here, like my beta school, searching colonies, stuff like that. And the last one I have is Flickr. Now pretty much all you're doing here is you're looking something for, type in a keyword, so I'm going to say school. And pretty much what it will do is it will search Flickr, and pretty much you can actually bring in these different images. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this one, and it will tell you the dimensions of the picture down here. So if you want to change it around, you can. And whenever I'm done, I can click update, and here's my picture. The next one is, say if you wanted to do more math that we needed to actually get into. I can click on the pi symbol right here, and it's the insert math equations. So whenever I click on that, here are the different tools that I have. So I have my basics, and like we had before, subscript, superscript, fractions, square roots, nth roots, all kind of different things. We can also have our lowercase and uppercase Greek letters. We have our different operations, relationships, arrows if we needed to, limiters, and miscellaneous. So whenever I'm done, I can type in the equation I need, hit insert equation, and it will put it into our text editor. The next couple that we have are actually the applications that I talked about at the beginning. So then pretty much they will all work in different ways. So now, like I said before, if you have more than 3 or 4 apps, you're only going to see 2 to start off with, but we have this little down arrow. And when I click on this, this will actually show me here are all the different applications that I can actually use. And again, I've added some multiple times, so that's why I have multiple applications are showing up multiple times. And pretty much say if I wanted to add something from, we'll say YouTube. So I'll click on YouTube. Pretty much it will bring up that application, and pretty much what it will allow me to do is actually search YouTube for different videos itself. And all I have to do is embed them directly into the page. Or say if I wanted to use Khan Academy. Khan Academy is pretty much the same way. I come in, I can say, all right, I want some math, and we want it for Algebra 1. We'll say this, 2 steps, and pretty much all I have to do is just click embed. And there is my Khan Academy. Now say if I don't want it that big. I want it in the middle, and I want to shrink it down to about that big. I can do all of that just like that. Now the next one, which kind of looks like a movie strip, is our record and upload media. So whenever I click on this, if I wanted to, I can actually bring in, and it's going to open up it's going to ask you if you want to open up your webcam. We're not going to worry about that one right now. But it will also allow you to upload media as well. So if I wanted to select audio, maybe I've recorded myself teaching a lesson and I want to upload this to my page, I can do it from here. Or if I have a video, say if I'm doing a screencast of my lesson and pretty much it has the audio to go along with it, I can upload that for students to actually use at a later date, or that can be a part of their assignments. Now the nice thing about this is students themselves also have this available to them. So if you did want to give them some kind of assignment where they need to create a page with a video response to an assignment that you've given them, or some kind of audio, you can do that. They have that option as well. The next couple is we have left to right, right to left, our different font sizes, and our different paragraph formattings. Whenever we come down below, we only have a couple. The nice thing is pretty much if I want to options only teachers, anyone, teachers and students, you're more likely going to want to leave it as only teachers unless you want your students to be able to edit the page. Now the other nice thing about this, and this is one thing I really like that they've talked about before, is pretty much you can also click this where it says notify users that this content has changed. I really do like that, mainly because say if you have students who have their notifications set up to receive an email whenever stuff changes inside of Canvas, this could be a good way for your students to actually stay on top of things. Same with maybe your PLC group or any other group that you're a part of. All you have to do is just click on the little checkbox next to it. Now, the last thing we have to do, I'm going to check it real quick, is pretty much I can click save. Now, whenever I click save, that does not actually publish this page to the course itself. If you want to make sure that the page is saved and it is live for your students to be able to see it right away, you want to click save and publish. I'm just going to go ahead and click save for right now. Once I do that, I will see exactly what the page has, especially with the embedded video. Excuse me. Also, the nice thing about this is pretty much I also have the options to delete it, view page history, or share to commons, which we will talk about later in another video. And of course, if I click on view all pages, my test page version 2.0 will be down towards the bottom, as we can see right here. And it also will tell me who has created each of these. Now, once I've actually created, and like I said before, is I didn't publish my page. Now, as I can see right here, I have a little gray cloud next to it, and then I have some that are green. The green clouds pretty much mean that it is published and is able to be viewed by the students and other teachers on that site live. Now, if I wanted to, all these ones that have gray, that does not mean, okay, well, you can't see them. You can still take a look, edit the page themselves. They're just not available for the students in the course. If I wanted to make this available for the kids to actually see, or the students, all I have to do is literally hover over it and click it, and pretty much it is now viewable for my students. Now, say I've gone through and I don't want the kids to be able to see it anymore, I can hover back over and click it again, and now it's unpublished. So it's an easy way for you to make sure you can actually allow your students to see material and content at your own time. You know, if you do have any other questions, please feel free to contact us at tosa@bay.k12.fl.us, and we'll be happy to help you out with any Canvas questions you may have. Thank you.